Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my vlog attempt, at least. I don't know, this is like my third attempt at trying to record this. I don't know how this is going to work, really. Never done this before. Either way, I'm here today to talk to you about shipping, as you might be able to tell from the title, if I made the title anything that makes sense. Either way, shipping is generally considered this taboo subject, right? It's like, oh, you think that people should be in a relationship? Like, that's kind of weird. You just you just enjoy finding putting two people in a relationship. That's pretty weird, isn't it? And yeah, it kind of is. But it's like, when you really start to think about it, it's not that weird. It's like how when you're in high school, you think, oh, those two people are cute, they should get together. Like, it's not really the whole thing about how it's, oh, you're pushing people together and saying like now kiss and stuff. It's weird. That is weird. When people are like that, that's pretty weird. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about shipping. So, what is shipping? What does shipping mean? What kinds of ships are there? What is this shipping? What are ships? That's what I'm here to talk to you guys about. And I'd like to give a big thanks to a couple of people, but that's going to be at the end, who inspired me to do this kind of thing. Vlogging, yay. Okay, are we good? Ready? Are you ready? All right, let it begin. So, if you've been living under a particularly sound rock, because I don't know how else you wouldn't know what shipping is at this point, it's basically the concept of finding a relationship between two people enjoyable. And that does sound kind of weird when you put it like that, but most people don't put it like that, so yeah, that's a thing. Now, if you are like me, you ship things in a variety of ways, unless you don't ship at all, which is totally fine, and I don't care. Just do what you want. But it's like, relationships are a thing, and people just like to speculate about everything. So speculation is fun. Anyway, so I'm going to go over the different types of ships, and I'm going to go over some examples of what kinds of ships those are. I'm going to use canon examples so that to not to weird anybody out and to give actual examples of what works. But now, either way, the types of ships are pretty easy to ascertain. There's the romantic ship, which everybody knows about. There's the friend ship, which is, friends. And then there's the hate ship, which is, I hate you so much that I want to do inappropriate things to you. I don't know how much anybody else is going to hear this, so I can't really, curse or anything. Is the door open? Is the door open? Who opened the door? Okay, that's not a problem. That's not a problem. Not a huge problem. Oh my god. They're gonna think I'm a total weirdo. Okay, either way. I also have these three things that I use that nobody else uses, and it's basically like an alignment of this is the hate, love, friend thing, and this is my things. And it's like a grid, and nobody cares about my grid. Nobody cares about my grid. What am I thinking? Anyway, either way, my things are, there's like a mirror ship, which is like two people are really close to each other and like they're really similar, and that's why you ship them. Then that's why they hate or for friends or like each other, whatever. Then there's the complements, and that means that people are similar to each other, but not like the same exactly. And that's probably the most common kind of ship, romantically anyway. And then there's the opposite ship where they're completely different and there's not really and they're completely different, but that might be a reason why it's cool to ship them. There's just totally different, total opposites, as the name entails. God, I am a total idiot here. Either way, I'm going to go over all the different sort of combinations and give examples, and hopefully by the end of this you'll understand what shipping is, and I can get on to actually talking about about ships and stuff in my vlogs. I'm just going over this as a basic sort of starter course for shipping. Maybe I can convince a few of you. Shipping is cool. Trust me, it is. Okay, that's not helping. That's not helping, Amanda. God, okay, next segment. Next segment, damn it. So anyway, let's talk about examples. Okay. Mirror ship. I'm going to go over these by the ones that I have because that's the ones that nobody's going to understand. Okay, mirror ship, friends. I've been on a Final Fantasy kick recently, so does anybody know about Riku and Tidus from Final Fantasy X? They're probably the best example I've got. you know, they're very similar to each other. If you notice, they're all running around and being sibling-y. They're generally speaking, a mirror ship and friendship can end up seeming a lot like sibling relationships. So that's kind of a thing. And yeah, uh, good example for romantic relationship would be Rose and Kanaya, which yes is gay, but that doesn't matter because it's canon. Heck yeah, and I ship it. Rose and Kanaya from Homestuck. They're honestly most of the they only have really a few differences. Like they're both handy with like they both do this like crafty thing. They both do they're both kind of snarky and they're very much the similarities are supposed to be brought to the forefront. From the very beginning, which is really cool. Now for hate, Vriska and Terezi, probably the best example. They're very similar. They're all conniving and stuff. The only differences are that Vriska's a bad guy and Terezi's kind of a good guy. But yeah, they're very similar, and that's why they end up hating each other, because rivalries. Hate is also somewhat rivalry thing. I should have mentioned that earlier. Who cares? I don't care. I think we've already established that I'm a freaking idiot at this point. Either way, complement ships. Best example of friendships, and also these complement friendships are probably the most likely to say, oh, they're such good friends, so they must be in love, or whatever. Dave and Karkat being probably the best example I can think of. They're really similar in a lot of ways, but they're also really different in a lot of ways, and that's why they're a good example of complement ships. Yes, yes, okay. Now, friendship. Now for a romantic ship, let's go into really old anime and talk about Tokyo Mew Mew. Masiya and Ichigo, probably the best example of a generic romantic relationship, because yeah, that's pretty generic. It's like compliments. That's how it works, you know? So yeah, that's pretty cool. For hate for compliments, that doesn't usually happen. It took me forever to try and think of an example, and I couldn't come up with any canon ones. So that's a problem. So, probably should have been doing this from the start. Posture's important. Opposite ships for friendships. You know the one bicycle anime? The one about the bicycles? And the anime with the nerd with the glasses. Yeah, that basically is full of opposite friendships. Like, the three main characters are about as different from each other as you can get, except for the fact that they all like bicycles, and they're really good friends and best friend. That's that's one of my bro T3s actually. They're pretty awesome. Um, and then for romantic opposite ships, Ron and Hermione, probably the best example. Ron's all like the whole point of them is that he's the more emotional side, and she's the more like thinking side. That's pretty cool. And for hate, it took me a long time. I couldn't think of a good one that was canon in any of my things, but you can imagine that there's plenty of them. Plenty of them. The suggestion I ended up getting was kind of weird, and I don't want to think about it too much. Either way, so why do people ship? That's a good question, right? Really, that's the main question that I wanted to tackle on this kind of a thing. I know why I ship. I know why some other people ship. So let's talk about why people ship. Why people shipping is important. Why are you breaking this up into segments, Amanda? It's supposed to be unscripted. Just move on. Move on. So anyway, God, why do people ship? Why do I ship? I ship because I'm not ever going to get into a real romantic relationship. I don't really want to. I don't really want to have I kind of want a relationship, but I don't really care. I don't think I'd be any good at it. So I'm kind of a romantic, you know. I'm in love with love and blah, 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 blah. Some people ship because because the ship reminds them of themselves. Some people ship because, you know, it's just shipping, man. Sometimes it just feels right to say, oh my God, aren't they so adorable? Aren't they just such a cute couple? Aren't they just such great friends? Oh my God, their hatred is so weird, but so interesting at the same time. It's like, it's just sort of a feeling, you know? You gotta like, if you don't feel that kind of a spark thing, then you're probably not really into fandom culture all that much to begin with anyway. Fandom culture is fandom culture, and it's like, it's an emotional gripping experience, and as weird as that sounds, it really is fun, and it really is cool. That's why I ship, and that's why a lot of people ship, because it's fun. That was way less dramatic than it. That was anticlimactic. That was really anticlimactic. Anyway, people who inspired me to do this kind of thing are a lot of people. Vlogs I first started liking vlogs a while back. Never really liked the unscripted kind. That's why I haven't liked it. But like just having a script makes you, too like reliant on it, and it's like, oh, it's either too it's like too awkward and you don't know what you're doing, or it's too stiff and formal. And I'm the improv girl. I was never I was in one theater class, but I don't know. Whenever presentations came up for projects, I would always be the one who just barely had notes and barely practiced, and I still got people to laugh. That's really all I wanted to do. I wanted to entertain people. That's why I kept in all the funny transitions. Future me, remember, keep in the funny transitions. They're funny. I promise they're funny. Either way, please make sure to tell me if I do something stupid, because I'm prone to doing that sometimes. And I'd like to give a big shout out to Sawyer7Mage and Lupina09. I haven't followed her in a while, so she might have changed her name, but that's what she was when I was subscribed to her. She eventually stopped making content that I agreed with, and I had to unsubscribe, but she was cool, and she used to, and I really like to hope that she's still making cool content. She seemed like a pretty cool person. And Sawyer7Mage, he does awesome reviews of anime and TV shows, and he's hilarious, and a lot of my style might come from him. And also, I'm bound to take some like sort of things from Josh Scorcher and a bajillion other people who I watch. And all these hand gestures are from all of my TV shows. I watch anime and TV shows a lot, and I play video games, Japanese video games. So, yeah, that's a thing. But either way, I really hope that you guys enjoy this. I doubt you do, because it's shipping, but eventually I'm going to start talking about actual ships, probably, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so this is basically in the spirit of Lupina09's Let's Talk Pairings, except ships, because sometimes I'm going to be talking about threes, and sometimes I'm going to be talking about friends, and it's going to be like, yeah, OT3 and OTP and all that other stuff. You'll learn what those mean eventually. I'll go over them. But for right now, thanks for watching, guys. I guess, if you're watching this. Well, you have to be watching this. I am an idiot. Either way, and the video